Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, where our mission is to help you gain financial freedom through crypto assets. If you like the way that sounds, do me a favor. Tap the like button, smack it, smash it, whatever you want to do. Give it a smash. All right, this is Around the Blockchain. My name is Justin. It's not DZ. It's not J-Chains. This is NFT Justin here to host the show today. And let's see who we have on the show. We got Stash, Mr. Cryptostache. BJ told me to call you. And then we also have Crypto Blood in the house, RiceTVx, and Crypto Lifer. We got a great cast today. Let's look at the market watch real quick before we got some really good topics. Let's jump into the markets, see how they're looking. Let me refresh. Planes going round. Let's see what we got here. All right, so
Tether's still at $1.
Tether's still at $1. We also got Ethereum down 6% today. 6%. Bitcoin down about 3.2% for the day. Oh, wait, 2.86% now. Binance down under $400. Let's see. Crypto Lifer, let's throw it to you. What do you see in the markets right now?
Thank you, man. If I could share my screen for a quick second, let me show you what I was looking at this morning. Right off the bat today, I do run a trading group, and I shorted this morning. I started a 10 a.m. show, and at 10 a.m. we saw a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time. The measured move was about to 42,843. We went below that, but we wicked right here to the 200-day moving average in the 1 hour. Tells you that we could get a little bit of a holding pattern here. Also, we're low on the stochastics. I love to long when I'm low on the stochastics, especially when I get a bounce in the 200. That's a nice entry for a bit of a swing trade if you want to get in there. But again, not financial advice. Looking at the 4 hour, this is what I want to talk about too. We broke out of this bigger we were in a bilateral pattern that could have broken up to the upside. It was looking nice. I mean, yesterday with the CMI, we went down, went up, came back down. It was probably one of the craziest trading days I had ever been a part of. I've never seen that much of an accordion. Like, we were just swinging.
Yeah, that was
anyway.
Crazy.
The bullish thing that I'm trying to point out here, because everyone's bearish right now, I want to point out a little bit of light here. I'm on the 4 hour time frame. Okay. When I go back in time on this 4 hour, every time we have broken above the 200-day moving average, you have seen that has been a catalyst for a leg up, a very big leg up. Okay. Right here, we cracked above the 400, bang. We would break above that 50. And again, golden cross, right? That golden cross has occurred on the 4 hour. I was waiting for it. It has happened. Again, here we broke above it. That's when the price went above the 200. Eventually would carry the 50 across, and bang, look at that leg up. We can even go way back in time, which I won't waste the time. But if you see when we started the leg up, the initial run around 9,600 before out of the pandemic there, we did again cross the 200-day moving average on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, we're doing it again. It's a big deal. If we can keep above it, we can stay very bullish. So this is a good sign. Right now we're bouncing off the 50, and there is a golden cross. So, and I do want to say, whenever the 4 hour was low, pump. 4 hours low in the stochastics, pump. So the odds are in your favor, pump, pump, pump. The odds are in your favor. It doesn't mean we're going to go huge, but it means you're going to get a swing trade coming. Something has to give. Bitcoin's going to have to reverse a little bit here to the upside. If you want to kind of take away all that after I did that too and just simplify it for yourself, it's in a falling wedge. Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. That should pop. That's also a little bit of a cup and handle. They call me Sammy Cup and Handy because I kind of look at a cup and handle almost out of everything I see. So there you go. That's my analysis for the moment. I believe we can pop back up. However, we do need to get above 43,600. That's a big deal for me. We got to get above that, and then we can talk about getting into the 46, 47 area.
All right. Awesome, man. Well, hey, you're going to get an extra point for being bullish right now. How about that? All right, so let's jump into
I'm not 100% bullish. I'm just showing some signs of life. Just some signs of life.
Let me jump into the first topic real quick. Russian conflict. A couple hours ago, some news broke. Press conference. People are saying that Russia is going to invade the Ukraine. Could be imminent war. We don't know. We hate using that word. We hope it's not true. But let me throw it to you, Rice. What is it with the Ukraine? Why is Russia so obsessed with the Ukraine?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the Ukraine used to be a part of the Soviet Union. So, and this is kind of a flex move, I think, on Russia's part. And obviously, when you have a news report coming saying there are reports that Russia is going to be attacking Ukraine, what's really funny about that is if a country is going to attack another country, I don't think they're sending out memos letting people know in advance. So I just think that this is just more stuff to hype up the news cycle. Unfortunately, our Ministry of Propaganda, that people call mainstream news, has just gotten sensationalized, and they're just trying to do everything they can to increase their ratings, and also to add more fear in the world that we already have enough fear kind of going on, but escalating it now by taking it a little bit further and going into a potential war situation. Now, usually when you see like economic problems in countries, usually war is not too far behind. They kind of go hand in hand. And Hotep Jesus, he wrote a really good book, The Patriot Report, which talks about the relationship between banking and wars. So unfortunately, this is kind of like I've been saying on previous episodes. This is the last stand for Finance 1.0. They're doing what they can to try to stay relevant. And unfortunately, when you have situations like potential false flags or situations that are happening where war could escalate, it's obviously going to cause fear, and it's going to cause fear in a lot of different elements, and that's going to bleed over into the markets as well.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Real quick, Stash, here's a question for you, man. Is Russia adopting Bitcoin part of their plan to sidestep sanctions? That's a very interesting question. Is this something they're trying to do?
I mean, I think that is the plan for any nation that wants to do this. We already saw, other countries kind of doing this. And, to be able to essentially use a decentralized currency to opt out of some sanctions like that, I think it makes total sense. Now, is it probably part of their core long-term strategy? I would say probably not. But I could definitely see it being on the table if the shit hits the fan. And we're starting to see the pile of shit start to build up in front of the fan. It ain't hit just yet, but it's starting to build up. It's like it's got a little mountain going,
it's
and it's like, all right, man, we're ready to go. And so I don't know, man. In general too, it's crazy how just remarking the whole situation, how when there's something going on between two nations that really have nothing to do with us as a nation, that we're always sticking our damn nose in that shit too.
That's what I was going to say.
Why are we doing that?
And we're just rubbing our shit. I'm like, come on, man, this is their like. I mean, I understand that like we're at a point where
it's America.
Justin was policing exactly. Yeah, we're at a point where we're also at a point where everything globally has an effect across the entire globe. So anytime that something happens, and it doesn't matter if it's not having to do with us, it will affect us in some sort of way. And we saw that really big with COVID. How something can really affect everything, even if it's not necessarily going on there. There were countries that didn't see a lot of COVID effects, but it still affected them in a great way because we're so interconnected. So it's just crazy to see that, and then that's a policy that has persisted. So
yeah. So Justin was saying, why is Russia sticking their head into this Ukraine thing? No, why are we sticking our head in our business? It's none of our business.
It's to protect the United States dollar, though, and you know that. And Russia has used Bitcoin in the past to get around sanctions. Just so
so back in 2014, you had Russia and the Cyprus. A lot of Russian billionaires were ciphering off, Bitcoin over to Cyprus. That's where they were hiding their money and stuff. So when that was exposed, they had to flee. So yeah, like Rice said, it's nothing new. But as far as, Russia and Ukraine, let's just leave them alone. Let them do what they want to do. And let's worry about our situation here in the United States. Inflation, 7.5%, highest it's been in 30-something years.
Shout out to that CPI.
We've got, and it's really higher than that. They changed the goal. They move the goalposts every 5 minutes on what the CPI is. But hey, that's another conversation. But we need to worry about what's going on here in America. A lot of people are struggling, and these prices are getting
Monday's Federal Reserve emergency meeting. That's
the emergency meeting. All right, real quick, guys. It's unfortunate. Global politics does kind of rule so many things, over here. Blood, let me throw it back at you, man. Should people still see Bitcoin as a hedge against financial destabilization during a time like this?
No, I'm a firm believer in that. Bitcoin is a risk-on asset. So if we have a war, we have any type of economic issues, listen, Bitcoin's going to sell off with the rest of these asset classes, stocks, bonds. It's going to sell off, and it's going to sell off harder, in my opinion. Now, the bounce back, the recovery, yes, you want to be in cryptos because it's going to go up faster than any other asset. It's going to recover faster than any other asset class. So that's kind of the take that I'm, taking on that one.
Yeah, that's true. You know, as volatile as crypto is, it's volatile to the upside and to the downside. But usually, if you see a huge increase to the downside, you see a dramatic push to the top. So,
Right.
I would definitely agree with that. All right, Crypto Lifer, your question: what could be the bottom for this dip if the conflict arises? If we do go to war?
Wow, that's deep.
Hmm.
You know, the thing is, will we go to war or not? Where is this news coming from? Even coming from Russia? I even question the news. I'll tell you what, show me the charts and I'll show you the news. And I really believe that. And it's an old saying, but I see it more and more. Like that day when everyone said Elon crashed Bitcoin, right? It was hot on the daily and the Stokes were going to come down. Like I was about to open a short, you know? So it's like, it's quite convenient how a lot of this news comes out. Look at Bitcoin's chart right now. The daily chart is high. The daily's overbought. It's extremely overbought, like pushing down. Like it's funny how this news comes out right when there's some obviously an indicator to me that says we'll have a bit of a pullback. I do always look at the Dow Jones, and the Dow Jones weekly stochastic is pushing to the upside. That tells me that there's not going to be much of a conflict and that we're going to see world markets kind of push up into March. I'll tell you what, I sat in my basement. I called the bottom at 30K, and you could go back to my channel and see that. I didn't listen to any other YouTube channel. I sat in my zone and I looked at the charts. I saw hidden bullish divergence. I saw Bitcoin in the golden pocket of the 0.65. I went long. I didn't listen to the news. They said Grayscale was unlocking 6,000 Bitcoin at the time. That was going to crush everything and bring us all down. I refused to listen to that. So many people DM me, what about Grayscale? What are you going to do? I said, nothing. I'm going to play the chart. And we crushed it as a team. So I really, really heed people to stay away from the news, because what it tries to do is get your mind offset from your focus. Now, at the same time, we have to pay attention. A lot of the sheeple are going to follow this, and they're going to sell certain things in the stock market. And Blood's 100% right. Don't think Bitcoin is just going to be impervious or nothing's going to happen to it just because of a sell-off. Even gold went down when we had that massive move in March of 2020. That surprised me. Even gold,
everything goes down. Everybody
will go
goes to
down.
cash.
Yeah, 100% right.
Cash
The
is
Phoenix
king.
rising out of the ashes.
Yeah, cash is king.
And the Phoenix rising out of the ashes. Yep. The Phoenix rising ashes will be Bitcoin, will be cryptocurrency. There'll be less faith in fiat at that point, and they'll be even enough to print even more to get out of the hole they're in. If they don't reset, they're going to have that great reset. Something's coming.
I just tell, people just need to know, and Crypto Lifer, and you seem like a trader yourself, people should have dry powder. That's how you take advantage of these situations. Don't be all 100% in a scenario like this. Have some dry powder. Wait for that pullback.
Oh, we'll be on. Yeah, I'm sitting on triple figures to Tether right now, easily. I'm sitting on triple figures to Tether. Like, I'm not building huge bags right now. I'm still watchfully,
I'm with you. With you. All right, let's jump into the next topic. Okay, crypto companies like FTX, BitBuy, Coinbase, they're running ads during the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the event annually that everybody watches. I don't even like NFL football. I'm a college guy, but I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. Let me throw this back to you. And by the way, some companies are spending $7 million for a 30-second ad. That is insane. Let me throw it back to you. Yeah, well, Blood, let me ask you something. Do you see this being a sound investment? If you were one of these companies, would you spend $7 million for a 30-second ad?
Oh, for sure. They're going to make $7 million in a week off commissions. Crypto exchanges are one of the that is the most profitable business to be in, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, it's definitely worth it. They'll make their money back within a month easily. Actually less than that.
I would agree with that. Yeah, the referral game is strong. So all right, real quick, Rice TV, will this type of advertising do anything for mass adoption? Do you see this kind of helping crypto move back into the mainstream or move into the mainstream even more? Or is this a top signal?
I wouldn't say it's a top signal, but I would say that it's going to bring a lot more attention to cryptocurrency. And because you're going to see so many ads during the Super Bowl, it will bring a lot more legitimacy. And in just having that continuing happening through different elements is just going to help solidify what cryptocurrency is. I did want to say thank you again for inviting me on Around the Blockchain. And I do want to encourage people to go over to RiceTVx, make sure they subscribe, because I'm really close to 25,000 subscribers and I'd love to
y'all get over there.
Now, also, when it comes back to the Super Bowl, we have FTX, Crypto.com, BitBuy, eToro, Coinbase, and Bud Light through something called NounsDAO that have announced that they're going to be doing some advertising. Something else that's really cool is during the actual regular season, because I'm not an NFL fan myself, but during the NFL season, they started doing commemorative tickets, like virtual tickets for the event, in addition to the physical tickets. And they're going to be doing that as well for the Super Bowl. And there's over 250,000 virtual NFT tickets that have been given out, and they're minted on Polygon, which is really cool. So, you know, I think that it's definitely going to be
left
bullish
for non-crypto related companies.
Well, that's why they're calling it the Crypto Bowl.
Crypto Bowl.
Yeah, they're calling it Crypto Bowl. That's what's in the news.
Yeah, it's Crypto Bowl, man.
And it's crazy. I mean, I don't think it's really going to have that much of effect on the markets, but I just think that it being on the Super Bowl and having so many ads on the Super Bowl is just going to add that much more relevancy and legitimacy to the whole entire cryptocurrency and blockchain space, in my opinion.
I agree. I think, you know, things like UFC, you know, when you watch the UFC, I'm a big UFC fan. You see crypto.com in every octagon, you know, so I think you're right. I think it's going to be kind of
sponsoring a fighter too in UFC. So we are seeing a lot of crossover. Yeah. Like it was, now this was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, but still.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
With Ben Askren.
Featherweight.
Ben Askren. Well, it wasn't the fight that he got knocked out at by.
No, it wasn't the fight that he got knocked out.
No wonder Litecoin went down after that.
Terrible. I interview with Charlie Lee. I interviewed Charlie this week, and that's a really good interview. So people should check that out. Kind of get a little bit of the past, present, and future of.
I'm Wimble with it, baby.
Wimble. That's good. All right, Stash. Here's one for you, man. Which exchange out of the ones I've named do you think will have the most benefit, like the easier on-ramp for people that are watching the Super Bowl to actually get onboarded onto? Who do you think is going to benefit the most?
Damn, that is actually a really good question. Who is going to benefit the most? You know, I would probably say that, you know, when you look at them, it's not going to be Coinbase. I feel like they've already got a lot of exposure. You know, it's a name that people know. Even if they're not really much into crypto, they've probably heard it. Crypto.com, same thing. That, you know, they made big news with, you know, sponsoring the you know, former Staples Center, right? The arena here in Los Angeles. And now it's Crypto.com arena. So I think they've gotten, so I would have to say probably FTX on this. Because they've really, you know, been pushing the envelope with what they've been doing here in the United States. They kind of, not saying necessarily came out of nowhere, but, you know, with a pretty good amount of competition, you know, they vaulted forward into the crypto exchange, you know, world, and, you know, they become a big player, you know, and they've added services that people wanted. And so I think that, you know, with that and the fact that they're going to be giving away Bitcoin, they haven't released how much or how they're going to do it, but they said through this commercial, you're going to be able to get some Bitcoin. So I would say probably it's going to be FTX. Now, hold on. Honorable mention to Binance, who opted to not do any kind of Super Bowl commercials, but instead is focusing on what they call their, like, you know, education campaign, because they understand that there is a gap between the education side of people learning about Bitcoin and just the adoption of it, you know? And I love that, man. I'm bullish on CZ. I like the fact that that's one of their main, you know, things. They're not like flashy. We're not going to go to the Super Bowl some stuff, but hey, we're just trying to educate people. And so I honorable mention to Binance for.
Hey, man, you're onto something with that, because I do think that is the headache, the education, and the only way that you know, I know about crypto because I've spent years digging and watching videos and reading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it's so frustrating when you're trying to teach, especially like family members, like your uncle or somebody.
It's hard. They don't want to learn. They don't want to learn.
One thing you guys are forgetting about those is we have banks in the United States that are going to be able to custody crypto. So I think we're going to see a lot of education.
That doesn't help, man. They're not going to educate either. They're just going to.
No, they're not going
to. I really feel like they will.
No,
I feel like the
banks are not going to help educate. They want to keep people stupid so they can take advantage of you. That's why they want. They will never do it.
Come on, Rice. You know better.
They can take advantage.
You know I'm not pro bank.
You
know I'm not pro bank at all. Completely not pro.
Hey, whoa, hey,
we'll provide a lot of education.
This reminds me of yesterday's episode with Richard Hart. So let's if you haven't watched that one.
Friday was like the most interrupting, talking over episodes, I think, of Around the Blockchain.
Hart was on.
That's right. The Prince of
Usually happens when Richard Hart's on anything. There's a lot of going on. There's a lot of.
Hey, it was a great. Hey, let me tell you.
I call him Pastor Hart. He's got all these congregation members and resurrections or whatever you call them. I mean, I'm just like
the church of Pulse.
All right, real quick. Okay, let's get back on topic. All right, Crypto Lifer. ultimately, is this a bullish or bearish sign for the whole crypto market being in the Super Bowl? Now, I do remember when things like this happen, that's why I kind of brought up to Rice earlier, is this a top signal? Usually when you see a rush and a big commercial on a main audience like the Super Bowl, you'll see a big downturn, right after.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to caveat to my first answer a little bit there from the last few questions is show me the charts and I'll show you the news. It's a bit of news. However, it does stress me out. Like, I'm not happy, right? Whenever everyone's happy about crypto, that's usually when you should be selling some crypto.
Exactly.
That's all of the OG cryptos know that.
Yeah.
Coinbase is a great example. Bitcoin hits Coinbase, time to sell. Right, that was a market top. There was even an analyzer who said that was time to get out. Like, he actually called that top with the Coinbase IPO coming out. So when there is big movement and you see a lot of masses running into crypto, however, let's look at this in a bigger light. I'm holding Bitcoin for the next 10 years. This is so bullish for me. I'm so happy. Yeah. So many more people are going to know about my bags and pump them. This is going to be a great thing. I'm in it for the long term. And because I'm in it for the long term, by
greater school theory,
man, let's get that extra 2 points at the end too. I'm ready. I'm excited. Year of the Tiger. Let's go. And I have 2 words: Cooper Cup, baby. Cooper Cup. I'm telling you, watch that man. He's going to do some damage. He's going to do some damage, man. He's going to do some damage. He's my favorite player right now. No one stops that man.
All right, here it is. Cue the lightning on the screen. Let it go around. We got the lightning question right now. Lightning! Golly, I love that. All right, so we're talking about the Super Bowl. Which QB had the biggest glow up this season? Now, I had to be taught what glow up actually means, so hopefully everybody else does. Joe Burrow or Matthew Stafford?
Man.
I mean, Joe Burrow, easily.
Let's go to Stash first. Let's go to Stash first. Yeah. Let's go around to Stash. Let me give Stash a point.
I will tell you right now, I have no freaking clue. I have no idea.
Thank you, Stash, because that was my answer too.
But I will tell you,
we took you as a football fan, man. Come on.
I'm not. No, I mean, okay,
I got the football stash.
I'm not anymore. I used to be a huge football fan. I really did, man. But I tell you, I just my directions went my pursuits and my interests went in another way. I used to religiously watch football, man. I just don't do it anymore. But I would say, man, big love to Matthew Stafford out there. Gotta support the local team with the Rams, and so that'll be my choice. I'm gonna say
Gotcha. Well, here's another point. All right, let's go with Crypto Blood.
Matthew Stafford. Look, you know where I am. I'm in Detroit, right? So we always lose the players, and then they go on to have successful careers. Another example. Okay, we've got Matthew Stafford. He was with us for years, struggling, couldn't win a game. Blah, blah, blah. Look at him. He's in the Super Bowl, man. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Go.
So I'm going with Matt Stafford.
Yeah. All right, good choice. All right, RiceTVx, who you got?
I'm just going to go with crypto because I am not a football fan and I have no clue about any of the stuff like a glow up.
2 points.
I have no clue about these guys, but I will say it's going to crypto this year.
Can I take a minute of his?
Crypto Lifer, what you got, man? Go ahead.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me on the show. I just want to make sure I say that. And thank you for everyone that came on to the show. It's just really, really nice for you guys to do this and beef us up. Really, really nice. It's very, very awesome of around the blockchain.
Yep.
Joe Burrow ran like a deer, man. When he ran those 2 third downs, man, he saved the game. When I saw that, man, that was impressive. I really like to see that. But, Matt Stafford's always been good. He just didn't have the supporting cast, but he's really, to me, always been a bit of a hero. So, to me, it goes to Joe Burrow. He had the biggest glow up. No one knows who he is. He might boom, man. You never know, man. So,
I like him.
Burrow was
the
glow up. Yeah.
Burrow was the glow up. Sorry. All right. So let's talk about our third.
I was gonna be like, what are you thinking about, Justin?
No.
Do we have a special line of NFTs coming out?
Yeah, we do. Like, you have to. I'll tell you about it after the show. All right. Pancake Swap. Pancake Swap, the largest decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain, is now coming out saying they're banning a dozen countries. They're banning the IP addresses. Some of those countries includes Crimea and Sudan. So here's my question. So that, first of all, kind of really bothers me. It kind of takes away their name. Are they a DEX or not? Crypto Lifer, what has the Pancake Swap charts, the cake token, looked like recently? And is this exchange healthy?
Cake. I mean, I'm the cake man, if you didn't know. 60,000 views on my cake video. I got into cake at 60 cents. I saw Uniswap was having horrible fees. I looked around. It was like being stuck in a traffic jam. And I was like, how do I get out of this car? I found Binance Smart Chain. I started making quick plays, started making LPs. I found cake at 60 cents. I turned $1,800 into $100,000 with cake because I got in at 60 cents and went to 44. It also was making me residual income with the bunny token. At one point, it was 136K from 1,800 bucks. So I love cake. It changed my life. Like, I'll always think of cake and have a sentiment for it. Let me look at the chart for one split second if I have a quick moment here, and I'll show you what I see for cake. Let's see here. So cake on the daily has been beat down pretty much. I haven't looked at it much, so let me swing it up, but I'm pretty quick at this, and I can get you. It's in a bit of a falling wedge right now, and it's bottoming out. I mean, we're sitting at 773. However, I'm still up huge on that 60-cent buy. I did sell a lot of it, but I still keep some staking. I always stake some cake, baby. Everyone in my group knows we love our cake. So, I mean, cake needs to come on up, and it all depends on Bitcoin. I'll be honest. If Bitcoin can resurrect itself, not get beat down by this Ukraine war, and start to pump on out, I tell you, man, I got to give you guys this little detail. The weekly on the Dow Jones, which has been very correlated since we have institutions into Bitcoin, looks absolutely beautiful for a push-up. Like, so I know there's a lot of scary news right now. If you zoom out and look at the weekly, there's a chance we could get a recovery. If that happens, I see cake getting back up here to the measured move at 42. But again, that depends on the whole markets. First initial place it's got to get above is 13 and 16 cents. And then we can talk about cake kind of getting up there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you breaking the chart.
But I love cake, man. Thanks for bringing up cake. Cake changed my life. Like, I will never be the same.
I
can tell you love
cake. Do you steak cake or bake cake? I thought you were supposed to bake cake.
Do both, baby. Do both.
Steak and bake.
Eat your cake with
steak and bake. There you go, Rice.
All right, Rice, real quick. Throwing it to you, Rice. So if a DeFi platform like Pancake Swap is banning countries, is it really a DeFi platform?
You know, that is a really good question. And I talk about decentralization a lot when I come on here. I like to call myself the defender of decentralization. And what this really shows me is that this is not decentralized. This isn't DeFi, and this isn't a decentralized exchange. This is CeFi, and it's a centralized exchange. I mean, when you're able to, the term that they were using was geofencing. When you can block people off, that means somebody's controlling it. And somebody is setting the rules and the standards for who can and cannot use the platform. So to me, I don't see that happening with a decentralized blockchain like Bitcoin. So, you know, I've mentioned Reggie Middleton's patent with DeFi. We're going to start seeing exactly how decentralized a lot of these entities are that claim to be decentralized. You have Curve Finance that basically are protecting their IP through trademarks and other things as well. You're seeing a lot of people protect what they have going on, and a lot of people behind the scenes a lot more centralized than they are decentralized. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly which projects are decentralized. And another thing is, people just really actually need to think about what is decentralization. What does it mean for a project to be decentralized? But when you can do geofencing, and when you can say which countries and which regions can and cannot use it, that tells me somebody's in control. That tells me it's not.
And I just found out about this. So I'm upset. I had to jump into this. I'm upset about that because I just found out about that's not decentralization. That's not the cake that I stand for.
That's not the cake that you do.
Go ahead. Well, here's the thing though, fellas. The code is actually decentralized. It's the user interface that everyone is interacting with, their website that's centralized. So that's how they can go ahead and geofence and not allow people to interact with the contract from a user interface standpoint. You can still, if you know what you're doing, access the smart contracts around and circumvent their website. But who's doing that, right? So,
or you know, it is what it
is
too as well.
That man a point. That man 2 points. Those are good points.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm a fan of decentralization, and it's starting to seem like crypto is working with the banks, and people do not care about decentralization. People are hyping up a blockchain like Solana, which claims to be decentralized, but yet can turn itself off. And that is not the definition of a decentralized blockchain.
Horrible.
That's right. Now, I'm going to go a little counter to this, and not in necessarily the craziest way, but you know, I think a lot of people are always like, decentralization, it's not decentralized. Oh my God, it's centralized. And it becomes this very black and white argument, right? It's either extremely left or extremely right. And that's not really the case. And that's not how things really work in the real world, man. You know, decentralization is this sliding scale of gray, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, there's no there's no project out there. I can guarantee you this. There's not one single project out there that is 100% decentralized. It does not exist. And I don't think it really can exist, to be perfectly honest. There are every time you say, oh, but what is, there's another loophole, another thing that points out, like, no, here's a central failure. And it happens multiple times.
You can't scale a fully 100% decentralized project. It just it's so
that's
hard
what
to
I'm
scale
saying.
it
So
and grow
it comes down to it comes down to being a sliding scale of like, well, how much decentralization can we get? And we definitely want to go closer to that. I'm a huge fan of that, but people try and make it to this, like, you know, one or the other. It's like it's a bipolar subject, and it's not. It's a scale. And we always want to be closer to closer to decentralized and less than centralized, for sure. But it's a hard thing to do. So you got to look at that. So you got to see where do we sacrifice? Yeah, where do we sacrifice, and where do we make some concessions, and where do we push to get closer to that side of decentralization? I don't think this is a good move by Pancake Swap, but I'm going to assume it's a move they're doing because they have some sort of regulation that's impending, and that's something you might want to think about. I've been a big fan of Cake as well. I got in at the same time that Lifer did. I got in at 60 cents when they first got started, and I was like, I love this, because I was hating the fees on Ethereum. I was over it. You know, I was like, this is not what it's about. And so when I found Pancake Swap, I was, this is great. I'm all about it. I got a big fat bag, just like you, man. I got a big fat bag. I've been staking that cake, and it's just been earning me more cake this entire time. I've never sold.
My man.
Don't burn the cake.
So wait. So let me
staking and baking, baby. Staking and
baking. Let me ask you something, Stash. Since we're talking to you, would you use a decentralized exchange after they make a move? Like if they start banning more and more countries, would that cause you to stop using it, or would you just keep using it?
If I like the exchange, and in general I feel like they've done a great job, and I'm not banned as a country, or I can use the VPN, then hell yeah, I'm gonna still use it, man. I mean, this is the Wild West, man. You know, I understand that there's a goal that these organizations have to have, but you know, in general, it is the Wild West, man. And I'm gonna go out there and get those profits, and I don't give a shit about governments or about the SEC or things that are coming down. We have to try and play within their game. But that doesn't mean I have to like it, and I don't. So I can play my own game as well and do it within my certain risk tolerance. I'm not saying everyone go out there and be an anarchist, but you know, in general,
go out there and be a stash archist.
Stash archist.
Right? They're trying to get us. They're trying to get our stash, man, and I don't want to give it up. So yeah, I probably still would.
Stash is the man.
You're right with what you were saying, though, Stash. I agree with you, and that's why I was saying to people need to really think about what is decentralization, because like you're saying, it's not a black and white thing, but being able to geofence and prevent certain regions or whatever the situation might be shows control and does show centralization in that aspect.
It moves them back closer to that centralized spot, man, where we don't, where you don't want to see products really going. You know, we don't want to backpedal.
Sorry, Justin. Sorry, we're so awful to you,
man. Y'all are just so disrespectful. Anyway, real quick, last question to Blood. What would prompt Pancake Swap to do this?
Pressure from the governments, right? That's what it always boils down to. So that's where you have to understand.
But it's a strange list. I mean, if you look at some of Sudan, you know, why would they?
These are countries that didn't have. These are countries that banks were not part of. This the central.
They're not part of the IMF. If you look at that, those
they're not part of the IMF.
Most likely not part of the IMF. Yep. So it makes sense, and it may actually be coming from the IMF. You know, IMF is really pressuring El Salvador. They're going to continue to do those types of things. So when you have those central points of failure, that's where we have to be more resilient in crypto and start these DAOs and start getting those types of organizations set up, because then we're definitely unstoppable at that point. So thank you for having me on too, guys. I really appreciate it.
+1 blood. Okay, that pushed Blood over the edge. He is the winner today. What a great episode. Really appreciate everybody coming on the show. Blood, what do you have? What do you want to leave as a parting gift to our viewers?
Oh, man, first time winning. Thank you. Appreciate it. Just go over to Crypto Blood on YouTube and check me out on Twitter as well at CryptoBlood_. Death Row Records. Shout out to my man Snoop Dogg for buying Death Row Records. We out of here.
Snoop!
Yeah, he got it. Can you believe that, man?
love that.
I saw that today.
I love
I
it.
saw that today,
it's
man.
one
He
of those
bought it.
NFTs. I got one of those NFTs he dropped for 5K. I had to do it, man.
Oh.
You have to,
My
man.
move.
Oh,
I know. I
reverse
kinda-
side.
How is
kinda
how is
regret it,
Suge? How do you think Suge's taking that?
Oh,
news?
that's gotta be, dude. That's gotta feel so horrible.
I know,
Oh
man.
my
Lost
god.
it to Snoop.
Rolling.
One of your artists buys the record label you started, and you're
That
in
you
jail.
built and started.
Yeah.
All right, guys,
That's
hey.
like the slave master buying a plantation.
Everybody watching, go follow each and every one of the guests. Go follow
That's
me,
right.
NFT_Justin on Twitter. Thank you guys. Until next time. Peace.
And go watch Frankie Candles. Because Justin
Thank you,
forgot
everybody.
to say that.
Appreciate it.
Frankie
Oh,
Candles.
wait. Frankie Candles. Yeah.